Hi students, welcome to my channel. Continuing with the chapter United Nations, today we will discuss three main organs of UN, which are the General Assembly, the Security Council, and the International Court of Justice, that is ICJ. In my last video, we discussed the main principles of UN and the objectives of UN. तो आज देखते हैं कि General Assembly and Security Council and ICJ का main composition and the powers and functions of each of the organs. Okay, so let's start. First is the General Assembly. Composition: all members of UN are members of General Assembly. Each state has 5 representatives in General Assembly, but each state has 1 vote. Then regular session begins each year on the 3rd Tuesday in September and ends 3rd week of December. At the start of each regular session, General Assembly elects new president, 21 vice presidents, and the chairman of the Assembly's 6 main committees. Then, to ensure equitable geographical representation, the presidency of the Assembly rotates each year among 5 groups of states, which are Africa, Asia, Eastern Europe, Latin America, Western Europe, and other states. Okay, so make a note of this, and you can it covers all the important points. So itna notes agar aap log kar loge, it's more than enough. Okay, now next, coming to powers and functions of General Assembly. First is to appoint the Secretary General on the recommendation of the Security Council, to elect the non-permanent members of the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, and the Trusteeship Council, and to elect the judges of the ICJ. Third is to consider and approve the budget of the UN and to apportion the contributions among members. Then to make recommendations for the peaceful settlement of disputes. Fifth is to initiate studies and make recommendations to promote international political, social, and economic cooperation. Sixth is to consider and make recommendations on the principles of cooperation in the maintenance of international peace and security. Okay, clear ho gaya powers and functions mein? These are the 6 powers and functions of the General Assembly. Okay, next, security, the Security Council. And this is important. Executive body of UN means it is the Security Council. The Security Council is the executive body of UN. अभी Security Council का composition है. The council consists of 15 members. It has 5 permanent members: China, France, Russia, Britain, and the USA. The regional representation of the 10 non-permanent members is Afro-Asian countries 5 है, Latin American countries 2, West European and other countries 2, East European countries 1. Okay, the 10 non-permanent members are elected by the General Assembly by a 2/3 majority for 2 years. ध्यान से कर लेना ये सब points, all these points are important. ठीक है, MCQ में कुछ भी आ सकता है, so do this thoroughly. So the 10 non-permanent members are elected by the General Assembly by a 2/3 majority for 2 years. Retiring member is not eligible for immediate re-election. Presidency of the Council rotates monthly according to the English alphabetical listing of its member states. Okay. Next, let's see what is a veto power. This is very important. So veto power क्या होता है? So, veto power is a negative vote of a permanent member. Okay, negative vote of a permanent member is called a veto. The council is powerless to act if any of the 5 permanent members uses the veto power. ठीक है? अभी next, powers and functions of the Security Council. To maintain international peace and security in accordance with the principles of the UN, to investigate any dispute which might lead to international friction, and to take military action against an aggressor. Third, to formulate plans for the establishment of a system to regulate armaments. Fourth, to determine the existence of a threat to the peace or act of aggression and to recommend what action should be taken. Next, to take military action against an aggressor. Next is to recommend the admission of new members. Seventh, to exercise the trusteeship functions of the UN in strategic areas. Next is to recommend to the General Assembly the appointment of the Secretary General, and together with the Assembly to elect the judges of the ICJ. Okay, so these are the important functions and powers of the Security Council. Now coming to ICJ, that is International Court of Justice. अभी इसका composition, the court is composed of 15 judges elected to 9-year terms of office by the UN General Assembly and Security Council, sitting independently of each other. Okay, 15 judges है and they are elected to 9-year terms of office by the UN General Assembly and Security Council, sitting independently of each other. Not include more than one judge from any nationality, that it does not include more than one judge from any nationality. Elections are held every 3 years for 1/3 of the seats, and retiring judges may be re-elected 1/3 of the seats. Fourth, the court elects its president and vice president for 3 years term. They may be re-elected when their term expires. Court has the power to appoint its registrar. Coming to powers and functions, only member states of the UN are entitled to appear before the ICJ, settle disputes between member states in accordance with the international law. Third, advise General Assembly or Security Council on any legal questions, advise other organs of UN or request on legal matter. Its jurisdiction extends to disputes on interpretation of international law, reparation, that is compensation for the breach of an international obligation. Okay, so what is reparation? It means compensation for the breach of an international obligation. Okay, ICJ is the principal judicial organ of the UN. So remember this, judicial organ means ICJ. Okay, and executive body of UN means the Security Council. So remember all these important terms. Then 5 permanent members of Security Council, 10 non-permanent members. So yes sir, you have to remember. Okay, so that's all in this video. Next class we will do major agencies of UN. Okay, so these were the organs of UN. Abhi next class mein I'll discuss major agencies of UN. If you found the video, if you found these notes helpful, do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.